What got me into brewing is actually atypical for most people. I actually had no intention of brewing beer, and I still don't brew beer. My brother Kurt, he's our head brewer. He does all the recipe design and brews all the liquid. Sean Strickland is our production brewer over at the new facility. Does the core brands and some of the seasonals. I kind of fell into it, honestly. It wasn't something I had chose to do or was kind of decided for me. As far as our inspiration, you know, Voodoo is inspired by all kinds of things. You'll notice that the liquid, the beers, the brands, a lot of them are actually music themed or have a subtle music influence based on the names or the descriptions of those products. We're definitely inspired by you know, the music culture and the culture that our brand has kind of created. We kind of use that as a momentum to perpetuate forward and develop new brands and recipes around that culture. So here at Voodoo Brewing Company, we have a process that I like to think is a little unique to how we approach developing brands in the liquid that we put into our beers. It starts first by ingredient selection. A lot of people will say that's kind of where it starts. Kurt has traveled the world. He went out to Yakima visiting farms doing, you know, hop selection. We have partnered with a lot of great hop companies that get us experimentals and things we're working with to develop new recipes and to further develop the brands that we have created, to constantly be, you know, modifying things to the likeness that, you know, the market's demanding at the current moment. We spare no expense. We will import from anywhere. If it's the best, it's what we use. It's what our customers deserve. And at this point, that's what the customers are demanding. There's such a large you know, selection for customers these days, and I think that's a big part of what sets us aside from, you know, competition is you know, the quality of the liquid, the ingredients that we're selecting. An extension upon that, you know, is, you know, our process. We do a lot of things here very old school, very hands-on, in a non-automated type way. Even though we have a 10-barrel system and a 30-barrel brewery here, I still very much consider we do small batches. The attention to detail is great. Especially when it comes to our barrel aging program. We have a lot of accolades, and a lot of people will say that's usually what they think of first. Again, attention to detail, time is another thing. We don't rush things over here. We definitely take our time. The beers need to be ready. We're not trying to just put them out real quick. You know, their stuff we'll put in the barrel 12, 18, 24 months, sometimes longer, to get it to that sweet spot where, you know, we feel that it's where it needs to be. So the beers that we make here at Voodoo Brewing Company, they cover the gamut. We have a core portfolio of 6 brands. That's what most people have probably come to experience from us, at least initially. We do a Keller Lager, Killer Pils. It's a European lager, Keller beer if you will, made with 8 different kinds of imported European hops. There's also some Belgians in our portfolio. We do a Grand Met, which is our Belgian triple. It's like 9.5%, brewed style with proprietary Belgian yeast strain. Then we do a fruited version of that same beer, which is called Voodoo Love Child. And it's that same base recipe aged on Michigan sour cherry, raspberry, and passion fruit. And then we do a white, which is our White Magic of the Sun, aged on 9 different kinds of peppercorn, coriander, orange peel, and juniper berry. Then we have a brown ale, Winona's Big Brown Ale. That's a Marisauder. It has very nice hints of coffee, caramel. It's a really nice brown, very robust brown ale. Our IPA is Hoodoo, and that is brewed with 7 C's and Apollo hops. It's very citrusy, relatively dank, but you know, very nice representation of the West Coast style IPA. In addition to that, we do some limiteds and seasonals. Good Vibes is a limited release IPA, also in the West Coast category. We do a winter seasonal. It's an award-winning Russian Imperial Stout called Big Black Voodoo Daddy. And then in the spring, we follow that up with a double chocolate oatmeal milk stout on nitro, and that's Cowbell.
Guess what? I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
So those are kind of like our base, you know, kind of flagship beers that the market has seen, especially from a distributive standpoint. We do releases here throughout our 3 locations, soon to be 4. flash releases of limited canned things. Also our barrel aging program, the brands would be pretty extensive at that point if you get into like all the one-offs and things like that. Most of our pubs are usually pouring anywhere between 16 to 18 different taps at any given moment. The new production facility actually has 24 taps going in, so definitely a lot of variety and things for our customers to experience, for sure. There's nothing more important than community when it comes to building a brewery, building a brand. If you don't have your community on board, you are destined for failure from the very beginning. We are very fortunate and very pleased to be in the city of Meadville. Most people looking on a map couldn't even identify where that is, but for us it's a monumental and pivotal part of the success of our business. To have those people to come in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, have a lunch meeting at the brew pub, and they're those people that are putting your lights on, every time. They're paying your light bill, they're paying the gas bill. When you're not doing something special or a big release or there's a line out the door for barrel aged products, these people are here every day, and they support us no matter what we do, and they're happy for us to be here, and we support them in likeness, the same way. We get involved in our community, and we try to do as many events and fundraisers and donations as we possibly can to give back, because without our community we wouldn't be here. One of the best things about owning and running a brewery as of late would be the opportunity for travel. I've always been very eager and excited to travel and to see the world, and having done a lot of that prior to my brewery experience, I was missing it, but now being afforded the opportunity to travel with our brands to different countries and to export beer to different parts of the world is very exciting and new, and to get to represent your brand and your hometown, in other aspects, of the world is very exciting, and it's one of the highlights of my job, at least currently. I think one of the worst things about running, owning, operating a brewery would probably be distributing beer is difficult. They don't make it easy. Every state has its own rules, regulations, taxes, filings. So that's a little bit complicated, and maybe one day could be streamlined a little bit better. So that's probably one of our biggest challenges, is when you're a very small operation with so few people, to vet wholesalers and then to open new markets in different states is difficult. So here at Voodoo Brewing Company, we do take great pride in offering our customers a unique experience, both through our liquid and through the foods that we offer through our restaurants and our two Voodoo trucks, our mobile food program. Our recipes are kind of, if you had to sum it up, I would say like a European, kind of pub favorites with like an American twist. We do everything from like a Voodoo burger, which is like a basic local grass-fed beef burger with various voodooized toppings. We try to cover the gamut to most people's dietary restrictions. Someone who's vegan, someone who's pescatarian, somebody who's looking for some kind of red meat, somebody who just trying to do the best we can to accommodate all the different diets out there, and offer a customer convenience to them when they walk in the door, so everybody can leave satisfied. So we do our best to recreate a new menu depending on which location you're at. They change either weekly or monthly. So it's rotating. We use seasonal ingredients. We buy local as much as we possibly can. We've hooked up with a lot of local food cooperatives that have been very helpful in procuring local foods from different farms. And we try to just constantly work within our community as much as possible. In 5 years, it'd be really hard to say where I see our brewery right now. I think it's a very impressionable time in the industry. I think there's going to be a lot of changes in these next 5 years. There's a shift happening already with competition for shelf space, distribution-wise, crowded brands within wholesalers to the point where they're not looking at bringing on any additional brands in their portfolios. It's going to be very hard to break into the industry now going forward for all the new guys. Every day, the customer is becoming more educated on the beers, the styles, the recipes, the ingredients. The facility we opened earlier this year is prepared for our infinite growth opportunity. It has footprint, acreage, and structures within it to fit our expansion plans, whatever they may be. We've already doubled the amount of fermentation here since January, and we had just started brewing. So it's exciting, and we definitely hope to grow our distribution footprint, more exporting. We look forward to developing new brands through a canning program that we are very excited about. Very interested to see where it goes next, and we're constantly working on the barrel aging program and ramping that up to maybe larger volumes to kind of fit the demand a little bit more, and doing new, fun, innovative, creative, crazy things in there. So very excited to see what comes out and what people think of it.